Real Talk Friday edition. Joining me, as always, Kristen Evans. What's up, big time?
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Oh, super. What's on your mind today?
Well, I thought after my last 24 hours, and then also, both of our Mondays where you and I had a call with somebody and you were in the car driving back from your spring break with your wife and kids in the car and the dogs.
Yeah.
And then that same day, I had to run up to my kids' school like three times. Pick up, drop off, but then I had to run some medicine up there too at one point because he was getting an earache. So I think my big thought this week is on like work-life balance, and part of the reason why people like you and I probably choose the entrepreneurship road, and it's to kind of help with that, to allow us to like be flexible. Um, so in addition to you like working throughout your spring break last week, which is like literally ridiculous, you should not do that, Justin. You need to take a vacation too. I mean, that's so hypocritical of me saying, because I worked through every single vacation I've ever taken. But I spent almost the last 24 hours, more than 24 hours, dealing with a sick kid, including a 9-hour ER visit, which, we left at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So there was very, very little sleep for me last night. But I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to be able to do that and be like, hey, I'm kind of phoning it in on my non-priority tasks tomorrow because I've gotten 3 hours of sleep tonight. But yeah, what about you?
Uh, I I would say yes. The flexibility is nice, but it is just as flexible as you need to be,
Mhm.
essentially. And yes, I did work last week and I didn't go overboard or do anything out of the ordinary. It's just a matter of keeping up with emails and making sure you're on top of things. But the tougher work, the deep thought work, that can take a pause for sure, and that's exactly what I did. So, um, sorry to hear about your kid, and
I mean, thank goodness he's okay.
yeah,
It's appendicitis, or what could be thought, or what was considered to be appendicitis, can be pretty scary. Luckily it was not that. Luckily there's not surgery, but you know it was literally around this time yesterday, so 24 hours, where I was like, ooh, maybe we should be going to the doctor. And then urgent care immediately referred us to the hospital. And then once you get into the ER situation, it's like 2 hours between each test, each screen. And, he got like pretty much a full battery last night. So it was just a long night. But my husband got up and went to work this morning, and he doesn't have nearly as flexible of a job. And, he was a little late, but he got up and did it. Whereas I have been taking care of the kid and then responding to emails in the interim, when
yeah,
I can, and only responding to really like my priority ones, but also communicating with like my team and some people that I'm consulting with. Like, today's not my day. So, it's helpful to be in those situations, but it also reminds me, like, this is part of the reason why I wanted to do this. After having worked years for places who have claimed to be flexible with family and then ultimately not really being flexible with family needs, I really wanted to be in a position where I could drop everything if I needed to,
yeah.
and be there for him. Especially, he's my only kid, so like it seems the very least I can do for bringing him into this world. But it's nice to be there, and days like today, I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to like drop things and cuddle with him if he's not feeling good.
That is great, and we don't work in an office. That's another huge benefit for us in our industry. That is, I would almost say, predominantly remote at this point.
Yeah, yeah, and a
Uh,
lot of us have been for so long, like so much longer than
than the norm,
worldwide standard at this point, so much longer than pre 2022 or 2020.
for sure. And you can't underestimate that flexibility. But the minute your kid gets sick, it's funny how your other stresses just go out the door, and
Yeah,
you're completely focused on that, and it's a new kind of stress.
yeah.
So glad to hear that he's all right, and it wasn't as serious as you guys thought. But
Yeah.
um,
Thank you.
I've been there, and it's just a testament if you are working for a company that you thought was flexible, and then they're not accepting of some kind of thing that happens in your life like that. That's a very good red flag that
Yeah.
say that this isn't the company for me. I've watched Impact. A friend of ours lost a child, and Impact gave her just an enormous amount of time to get well.
Good.
And that was something that I was really impressed by their executive team and everybody there, to give them that kind of grieving time, because I don't if I lost a kid, I don't know if I could come back from that altogether. It would be really tough on me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, even with like whether it's like tragic circumstances such as that, or even like maternity leave, like having the flexibility to even like one of my contractors on my team just had her baby, and I'm so excited for her. She's due to return next week. And I'm like, oh my God, it hasn't been nearly long enough. Like, go enjoy your family time. She's excited to return to work. But the first thing she did was message me, and she's like, "These are my hours for the foreseeable future." And it wasn't a request; it was "This is how I'm available." And I really specifically built my space for her to be able to do that. For to be like, I, I don't really give a shit when you work, just get the job done, and respond to emails in a timely fashion and do the work. But I think that's something, especially as parents, a lot of companies give lip service, and I'm so glad to hear that Impact actually follows through and has integrity on that. But I think a lot of companies give lip service on being family first or being family friendly, and then at the end of
Mhm.
the day, really don't deliver on that. And I think that that can be really disheartening, especially for people who are like, "Oh, this is a place that I want to be because I can build this with my family and like use this as my structural base," and like be uh, it'll be solid, and then come to find out that that's not really what it is. Like, it might be that way for the upper echelon, but not for like the everyday minions. And that can be really disheartening, especially for somebody who's putting their personal time investment into a company,
Mhm.
to not have that reciprocated.
Yeah, and this job requires to take time off, which we need.
Yeah.
I had a pure mental breakdown a couple of weeks ago because I was just overwhelmed, um, and I was facing a failure of my clients, like, feeling, and I hate that
Yeah.
so much, and it and just compounded on me, and drove me crazy, and I needed that break
Yeah.
from all of it. And this is a we're not at war, but for whatever reason, this kind of stress bothers me, I think, more than it would being out in the field in like a wartime situation.
I
And
mean, you have military experience, only you could say that, of course. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I completely understand. I had a situation where I had a misstep with a client, and I thought that I was going to lose them for sure, and it was such a stupid misstep, and it was one of those like harmless ones, but like
Mm,
can understand why they were not happy with it. And luckily, I've been able to resolve the situation, but it took a week and a half for a resolution, stomachs and like literal knots during that entire time. So I mean, I feel you. And one of the things, God, I can't believe I keep quoting this guy, but one of the things that Nick Marchese told me years ago was to look at, those types of negative interactions as an opportunity.
mm,
And admittedly, that's really hard for me to do. And especially when I'm feeling overly anxious, or like my depression's coming in or something, or like I'm being very self-critical. It takes a lot of kind of like stepping back for me to look at stuff and be able to process it and say, okay, well, this is a really big learning opportunity. That blew. Like, maybe I did suck at that. Maybe I did fail at that. But how can I not fail? Or how can I fail up on this?
mm,
That was so cheesy. I'm not a motivational speaker. Please don't hire me for that. But
mm,
I, I think that that's a piece that I always try to look at. Like, I hate those moments though. I feel you. Those moments
Mm,
you feel like, it's just you're beating yourself up because you feel like you didn't do the best job that you could do and you can do it. Um,
yeah.
there's
I
also sorry, go.
uh, I was talking to Bob Glazer yesterday, and
Ah,
he
great
was.
show, by the way. That was a great one.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Glad others did too. But he brought up a good point of like affiliate managers don't last in this industry all that long because they move on to other marketing disciplines. And because you can get pigeonholed into just affiliate marketing, and there's no upward mobility from affiliate manager.
Yeah, there's
Um,
no real growth structure.
but another hidden part of that is this is a stressful job, and like other channels seem to be easier sometimes to get results if
Mhm.
and I had myself questioning my career path this last couple of weeks. Like I started looking up driving for UPS, or like I was fully into like just throwing all of this away and like going and being a truck driver. I remember JT Thompson,
Yeah,
Justin
we're doing that.
Thompson.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, he just gave it up one day and he said like the stress is not worth this. I'm gonna
yeah.
go deliver mail, and now he's happy. Like um it's kind of tempting in all reality.
I've
It
done it
might come a
before
day.
too. Like I've thought so many times like, man, I could just go back to working in like the hospitality industry, which no, I can't.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I honestly don't like people enough to do that anymore. I like people on my terms, but that's part of the reason why I like this is so that part of the segment yesterday. I saw that and I saw, that lack of upward mobility and lack of upward growth. And what's interesting about that is that like I was like, oh, but Dustin's so onto something there because he's like training the next level of affiliate managers. Like it might not be like developing, them to like build out entire structures based around affiliate where there are opportunities for growth, but you're teaching people a new skill set,
Hmm.
which is I think really cool because I think a lot of people come into affiliate in the same way a lot of people leave affiliate.
Mm.
It's like they stumble into it because they're looking for something different or whatever. And nobody on purpose goes into affiliate, let's be real.
Yeah,
Um,
and
but
it's a good career starter if you want to get into marketing. Like
yeah,
junior kids coming out of college, it's a great stepping
yeah,
stone.
100%, 100%. Are you feeling better now than you were a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, and all it really takes is a couple of shots of dopamine. You get a couple of wins, you get
Yeah.
a couple of nice email replies and joins to the program, and everything just seems so much better
Yeah.
when you get back on that winning streak. But it's still on the table. Honestly, I might be in Brown soon. Who knows?
I mean, would you at least like pick up Rancho Cordova as your delivery route? That would be great.
Who knows? Who knows? I think in that kind of scenario, I would still hold on to like DustinHouse.com and continue to be an affiliate. But
I mean, if you
ideally,
did that, you couldn't close the podcast. Like I wouldn't be able to let you do that.
you can have it. Here you go. It's all yours. I'm so tired. So tired of it.
But
Um,
you're so good at
but
it.
these days are so good. Like this, I mean, they're all fun. They're all so much fun to learn from people and to pick everybody's brain and just hang out with folks in the industry. It's all a great time. It's just super time consuming on the back end of it, and I've gotten over that. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm not giving this away. I'm not destroying it and lighting it on fire.
Just
I'm just slowing down.
okay. I support that. I support
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking earlier, I was like, man, you have such a good thing going here. And I remember like what was it about this time last year when you're like, I want to be like an influencer for affiliate marketing. And I think
Yeah.
that you've done that. Like you've really kind of grown that path in this last year. And I think that it's such a wonderful thing. And seeing Bob, seeing some of the names that you've gotten on the podcast recently, like it's so fun. And you're covering really good topics. You're covering interesting topics, and also like educational. Like so many people I know are watching it and then being like, holy shit, this is so cool. Or like, connecting, like I get a lot of connections after, I like comment on the podcast sometimes, and that's really cool, so thank you always.
You got
I
it.
hook up forever. But yeah, I think it's bringing together a different kind of community, and not like talking down to people about affiliate, but really just like covering the bases and making those introductions in a much broader sense, which I think is really neat. And then adding a lot of value with the guests that you're bringing on.
Yeah, I think one of the best compliments I ever got was I make affiliate marketing like easy for the layman to understand. I
Yeah.
think that's part of my talent. Like when I talk to Bob Glazer, like he's got things that he's talking about that are over my head. Like he's just way too smart.
It's like Bob and
Like
Amy
he's just
Sherman.
next level smart.
I feel like Bob like osmosis into Amy Scanlon somehow, because I feel that way when I talk to her too.
Amy
Like, my
is
brain
one of
is just
those
like,
next level as well.
oh
Yeah.
my God, like, which is amazing. I love that. I love having people like that in the industry. But it's also really nice to have people who are like, hey, I'm like here and I can talk to you like here, there's no level of pretension, or no level of like, I can't teach you 101 because I'm above 101, which is really like, I think that that's helpful. Because I do think that, and this is not to say like anybody is like, oh, so pretentious, but I do think that so many people get so smart in this industry that it's hard for them to come back to the basics of it, and really strip it down so that it's like, what are you teaching those entry level creators? What are you teaching those entry level affiliate managers? And how are you able to make sure that they're not like going to fuck up the industry for the rest of us?
Yeek. We'll go ahead and edit that one out for YouTube. Thanks, Kristen. Jesus.
You're welcome.
F-bombs, like we can get away with one S word, but like
You've had F-bombs on the podcast before. I know you have.
No way. Anyway, last note I'll say here is I stay at 101 because that is a level I'm very comfortable with, and talking to people and educating them. And lucky for me, I'm just not educating myself enough to get to that next level.
BS. No, you have much upper level knowledge, but the fact that you're able to keep your conversations 101 is a huge indicator of how good of a person you are at being able to educate and have a rapport with people. What, are you blushing because I'm buttering you up?
Yeah, it's just too much for me. I was trying to self-deprecate, and
well, I'm not
you're
gonna
over
let
here.
you. I'm not gonna
You're over here going the other way. All right, we're way past that 15-minute mark. Another great Real Talk Friday. Thanks for joining me, and for all those out there at Affiliate Nerd Out, thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there. Take care.